Okay, everybody. So, lo and behold, I will get on a live stream again for a fourth time this month. So, for those who are coming on, please, announce that you're here, preferably speaking. Just type something in the chat. Good news, I have Malika Semper, the original Malika, not a scam account, following me on Instagram, so that is really nice. And so, I haven't been producing as many videos on social media as I have in the past, when I feel like it. So yeah, I just thought that I would do this unlisted live stream with all of you, because to do it public would be, a little, I just don't feel comfortable with putting a video about my, professors and what I'm going to be talking about on this live stream. And it may change who I decide to bring to the Menton, but I don't really think so. Something kind of inappropriate that I just want to get out of the way is that, my values are changing in terms of what I view as, clean and what's okay. Can't get it impeccably, but I don't want to spend time talking about that. Particularly this time around as opposed to other times. And I have no idea why I'm saying that. I don't know why I'm saying it. I don't know why I'm being driven to say that at all. So let me just forgo that. So I made a video yesterday. I posted it. It was about announcements I wanted to give to all of you. And I said that today I would be going through different experience, having integrated different people and voices and customs and etc. Because I know how it goes. And this is just kind of an honest little live stream about just my feelings and my perceptions about the teachers that I have this semester in college. And I'm going to go through them, and I have one that I am going to get to, and I'm going to push that particular one off to the very end, because that's kind of a big one. Something that I spoke about on another live stream I did for the 2023 live stream, which is going on from January to June. And I have to say that, I was pleasantly surprised today. And, I'm going to get to that more. I'm sort of, giving it away now. But anyway, today was a successful day. And even though I was nervous about my own stuff and my own issues, I still was thinking about it. It was still on my mind. I was still worried about it, but not as much as in the past. So that was a positive thing. So I had that going for me. The day began pretty quiet, not a whole lot good. And there's certain details that I don't want to disclose to you because of the boundaries. but I'm going to say that it was a good day. And all of the teachers that I'm having are pretty level and easygoing, and not one complete 180 to the other. Not one who's so demanding and traditional and serious, and expects a lot, than the other who is so laid back to the point that he could get taken advantage of. And there's almost, it's hard to find the meaning in the class. I could watch Michael Lennox and get more out of what he is saying than that class. It's not like that. They're pretty in the middle. They're pretty in between. They all seem like very reasonable, very likable, and, people that I try to look for the flaws. And I have to say, this time around, I can't really find any flaws that I can point out and that I can pin down. And that is really good. And this is only the first day. And hopefully I will not have to come on a live stream and get into a whole big deal about, one of these three teachers. And I'm hoping it's not the composition professor. I hope I won't have to come on and say, oh, he reminds me of so-and-so, and, this person is like this, or, I'm intimidated, or, this, work is hard, or I don't know, or, I feel like I'm walking on eggshells in front of somebody who's not actually as firm as intense as, a teacher that I had while the south node of the moon was in Aries. And that was reflected back to me in a very negative light, because when the south node of the moon was in Aries, the sign of war and the sign of the warrior, I knew someone whose name was the last syllable of the enemy in Harry Potter, Voldemort. And it just recently crossed my mind. It, really did before, but I didn't officially think about it too much. In Voldemort, you take the last syllable of Voldemort, and that was my 5th grade teacher. And she was intense. And, she really went on the rampage several times. And I have not had an experience like that with any teacher really ever since then. Anything close. I can't really think of anyone close except for, somebody else who was similar but very different, and that was, Mr. Tyson, who came to my event last spring, who was here. And then I had to get honest that I needed to feel more self-respect, and I needed to, take him out of the event. And I don't want to get into that whole spiel, because that is 2022. That is not this year. And this year, in terms of teachers and professors, it start off pretty vibrationally sound. And so the mirror reflected back to me as the positive one. And I think I'm going to enjoy these classes, find interest in them. And, well, I have to be honest. Every day I am becoming better, and I am healing the problem that I have for the most part. When I don't feel the insecurity or all those things, I can focus on the lack of interest. And oh my goodness, I cannot allow it to take over my life. And slowly but surely, I am breaking out of the addiction because I cannot go back repeatedly just to get security for a short amount of time, and then to go back to the restroom again and do the same things. It just, it is not sustainable. It's not, and I have to find something that is, and I'm working on that. So, hopefully it will bring perspective. And I wonder if the weather, January is warmer, January will be March. And Saturn is going to go into Pisces. Saturn restriction, obstacles. Well, you sort of have to, I don't like using this phrase, but work at to become better. I have to be honest. I mean, if work at seems like the phrase to say, I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to say it, because I don't want to limit myself. It depends upon the sentence that I'm using and the context that I'm using. But Saturn and Pisces, your own challenges, your own obstacles, your own means of needing to heal and love yourself. And I'm already doing the work. And Saturn into Pisces is really going to shine the light down on that. And probably going to reveal layers that I have not seen before, and going to reveal brand new problems. And I hope to sort of get good at that early on in the process, as opposed to start off good and it's, throughout that whole, more problems and more problems. Definitely getting outside, doing what Aaron Doughty does. He stands in the sunlight and gets warm. I might do that when Saturn goes into Pisces to clear the immune system and etc. And so, yeah. I am taking sociology. The first professor is pretty chill, and I can't find anything wrong, or I can't see any part of our relationship that is going to be difficult. It is a short-term relationship. The relationship I'm going to be having with somebody else is probably going to be a longer term, and it's really important that this gets that relationship is a successful one, because the last long-term relationship I have had with a teacher over years and years was a difficult one, and I do not want to have another experience like that ever again, and I don't think it's going to be that. Hopefully not. So I don't want to get into too specific things, but the customs that I see are, farm, rural, Midwestern. You have two times. When it's not Christmas time, it is, the end of July, beginning of August, around the time of the fair. Time period, if you've ever seen the 12 Days of Christmas, which, I'm seeing this Christmas. Actually, on Christmas Day, I was watching that movie again. And one of the actors, characters in there, was kind of like that and, displayed those customs. And so that was a good class. It should be interesting to learn about groups and sociology and things. I mean, I really can't say too much about that. I really, I don't have too much to say. Now, I'm going to skip the next one, and I'm going to come back to that. So then I am taking another class, which is a composition writing class. Should be easier and less of a beast than the lit class that I had to take, or that I had have to take that I took last semester. And the teacher is really young and tall and kind of modern, young and into, technology, and, sounds like somebody who would be in, YouTube, or even, the rad surfer on the beach kind of personality. The external famous person that I would, compare him to would be Aaron Doughty. Looks like him, doesn't really sound too much like him, but he definitely has the appearance, maybe similar personalities. He does kind of resemble an American lit teacher that I had when I was at home during the COVID year, so from fall of 2020 through spring of 2021. And I'm just stating the fact it's not actually a year. A year is 12 months and 365 days. So, it's a period of that time. I know why they call it year. It's not technically. But there were some little flaws that I pointed out. You can bet that given the choice between him and then my, other teachers, I would, I have a definite answer for that. And I have grown to become into that kind of, person, especially if you can compare that person to somebody who's famous and on YouTube and, stuff like that. And so, the problems that I found with the American lit teacher that I had, his name was Jonathan Bethers. For those who were at my event in 2020, a couple of years ago, when I looked like I was coming from the city alleys and my R's were impaired and half on and half off. I do apologize for my appearance and for all those years that, for those who knew me, especially, Pipson, knew me and my R's were not good. I wish I nipped that in the bud sooner, but I know people that are older than me who have speech impediments, and they did not nip it in the bud in mid-April. I was like, I am speaking inconsistently, and I need to get this fixed. So I read, I recorded myself reading, in which case I got better with my R sounds, and slowly but surely the R sounds became more even. And if you're listening to me, do I have a speech impediment? No. So I wonder how I would have sounded if I was younger and I had, no speech impediment. So anyway, I wish I did more with my life using my regular voice more in meetings as opposed to recording myself playing piano and songs, which I, videos, a lot of which I've gotten rid of, and, videos with waste of memory, all that kind of stuff. But the flaw that I found with, the American lit teacher that I had was, lacking of water. And I was looking at his chart. He was born on the 15th of September, 1991. And the chart for that particular day did not show that he was a water captain. That was his missing element. It was water. It was depth. It was feeling of emotion. And what he said lacked the substance, and I find that he was sort of rising up into the mind and not dropping in and not getting true. When you hear me, I'm pretty true and honest and, real about, what I'm saying. And he did have his sun square moons, the sun in Virgo, moon in Sagittarius, which, if you can imagine the personality type and the feeling of that, which is really difficult. One part of you that's analyzing and wanting to get things right and wanting to be a perfectionist. Another part of you who wants to be carefree and doesn't want to deal with that. So you're, dealing with these two different dynamics within yourself. And I could hear that energy, and it was not as graceful and as admirable as I would have liked to have seen. But anyway, point is, the castles in the sand did hold up. The bread was cut on the table. And, well, now I could say that the mill is working and running, and it is a successful mill. That's the metaphor that I have for our relationship. My relationship with the composition professor. Is the mill working? So you come up with these different metaphors for the relationship. But seems, again, chill, kind, wanting to, fair, just collaboration, getting to know people, interacting seems very important as teaching values of this teacher. So a common era person of any high school or, college, classroom. And of Adam Olympus, I've mentioned Adam Olympus. I was wondering if this person bared any resemblance to him. The one resemblance I could find is being a perfectionist. And what Adam meant by being perfectionist and perfectionism is basically self-improvement, basically. But it's just, to say perfectionism. And if you mean it like that, well, I can't disagree with that. Perfectionism is a good thing in that case. If self-improvement is what you're getting at, then yes. That's the Virgo energy. The moon's in Virgo. It's really not too different from other days because that's what I have to deal with. I progress Saturn in Virgo. I'd rather be dealing with the progressed Saturn in Leo issues. I certainly was analytical, but definitely more outgoing and enthusiastic and carefree. So that is that particular person. Now I want to get to the real important one. I've been putting this off. Not to my surprise, the music fundamental professor and the piano lesson teacher, who will be having to teach, an applying piano lesson, is from Guyana in the Caribbean, and who I was talking about, because for those who attended my January through June 2023 Part 1 live stream, I alluded to the civil rights movement. Quite frankly, he did as well in the class, which did not surprise me at all. He made a reference to race, did not surprise me at all. I alluded to that, and then I alluded to the piano, and then I sort of took I took my time to make a point of that he will be the music fundamentals professor and piano, instructor. I want to say that I will be having. It will certainly be a different relationship dynamic than the one that I had with, I can call him by his first name now, Justin. that was a long-term relationship. It lasted about 4 years. 3 years and 1 year, half of that year, another half of the next year. So 1 year from September to December, 2 years, 2020 to 2021, and then 2022, January through May. So that was that relationship. And I have my own things to say. Hopefully it will not be that kind of relationship. And I will be surprised if it's anything close to that. I think it will be a good relationship. And, where you come from, your background, your race, etc., does not define character. And when I was on that live stream, I did not say that it did. I was being honest about my initial perceptions and basic, psychological feelings, which vanished when I went into the classroom and I was in there for a good amount of time to get to know this person. It all vanished. And that was really quite pleasantly surprising to me. And fortunate to me that it vanished. That I wasn't sitting there believing something, but then having this other perception the whole way through. And when you're in the company of somebody who is from a different background and then you've gone through school and you've learned about segregation and all those things, it is an interesting experience to meet someone, that. And that's what I was getting at on that live stream. However, the separation dissolved, and we're moving into the Aquarian age. And Aquarius is about embracing the individuality and seeing that we're all one. Saturn's moving into Pisces. Let's get real about the fact that we're all one. Let's not, divide and, do all those kind of things. So I've had about 2, foreign teachers. One Spanish teacher I had for almost a year, unfortunately not the whole year, or, we'd call a year from the fall to the spring. And this one from Guyana. Who knows? He may come to the Edmonton sometime. Probably, maybe, I really don't know. But, the door is not shut on that. There's not a fence or a wall putting a boundary to that. So I really don't know. It may not ever happen. You may not get to meet this person. But, you may. I really don't know. I don't know. But what I got out of the experience of meeting this person was somebody who is really, again, easygoing. I've used that word several times now. Caring, open, sociable, lighthearted, outgoing, conversational, talkative, interesting, engaging, and fun. Those are the characteristics. And reasonable, understanding, sympathetic, fair-minded, liberal-minded, and Aquarius-minded. I mean, those are all the things that I have to describe. And Aquarius is an intellectual energy, being open-minded, of respecting, who you are, and interacting and opening yourself up. It's probably the least stubborn out of all of the fixed signs. Taurus, Scorpio, probably the most stubborn. Out of the fixed signs, I think Aquarius is the least stubborn because it is about opening up and interacting with others. But, definitely somebody who is moving into new earth and choosing a, really positive timeline, to use Pam Gregory's wording. So, told stories, told historical, a lot of historical, information and details, throughout, a good, majority of the class, really, open, hearted, and, open, and definitely somebody who is very high vibration. So that's really good. So, again, I really don't have not any negative things to say. I think it will be a good class and a good experience. And I think that I will really like this person and want to spend time with him and want to open up with him. So that's a good thing. And this relationship is more critical than the others because I'll probably be knowing this person for several years. Taking, applying piano multiple times. So to begin, it's a good beginning. I would raise the red flag if I would get to know somebody and they look one way and then they, change their appearance and then they seem tricky to get along with. So I can't see any kind of aging of wine situation that needs to occur with this relationship where the wine has to sit and age. I don't see any weeds in the trailer at all. The bird is pretty successfully flying high into the sky, soaring away, and what other metaphor can I make? I was going to say something that I forgot. It has gotten off to a great start. And that wine is, I think, aged and ready to be, sold. Doesn't need the time to cultivate. I don't think it's going to be a relationship that needs work, which is positive. I think that it's going to flow. I think the relationship that we're going to be having is going to flow, and it's going to be a good one, an open, an honest relationship. So I have some good feelings. Now, would I choose to spend time with this person? Am I drawn to this person? Yes, I am. So I will sort of be, pinning down what the negatives are. And I don't think that there's really going to be any. So today was a really positive day. Not anything negative or intimidating or anything like that. So that's all that I have to say for now. The one other thing I'm going to say, which does not have to do with this, it really doesn't. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to put a new rule in place. No one who shows himself to be a potty mouth at my invention. I don't curse. I have never cursed. And I will never curse. So rare that you will find me cursing. And the interesting one, I barely did. I used the holy Christian name in vain, but I blame somebody else for initiating that. I don't know. So it just came out, and then I or, but forget it. That's the worst that I've ever done, which is pretty good, I will say in honesty. However, I know of two people that are born in exact opposite days. And both of them curse, but one does one definitely seems more intelligent and more, like, okay, you're cursing, but you're not an idiot. You're not selling yourself short. You're not, destroying your, image or anything like that. I was seeing on a little story segment, Colin Bedell. He wasn't, I hate to say this is probably not, the best of me. Please don't, inform him. I told you, but I just want to, say, because it is in my nature to be honest. I could have been born with Mercury retrograde in Aries. I was born on April the 23rd, 2004. I'm glad that I wasn't born on that particular day and around that particular time, because I would have had Mercury retrograde in Aries. So I'm glad that I have it direct and in Taurus. I really am. So that I can have a personal planet in Taurus, which is a sign that I really like, and it's one of my favorite signs out of the whole zodiac. One of my favorite energies, and a sign that I would certainly want to be. Sagittarius is another favorite sign. I like Pisces, Libra, Virgo and Scorpio. Yeah, I know, I don't know about those two particular signs, but anyway, I will say that just in general, when you are in another city and in a really civilized, place in society, you don't want to create any bad image and have anyone looking at you going, who is this person, talking into his phone and cursing and being a potty mouth. I mean, I don't care if you're super into what you're saying is so blatantly obvious and, deliberate and you really mean it. There are other ways besides cursing and, just kind of, again, just blatantly cursing. And, I really can't believe what I was saying. I argue, more grounded, more, I haven't lived as long, but, let's not, let's put age out of the question. You really need to do your homework and compare me to a lot of other people if you think that I get obnoxious or get crazy, because I really, if you think I get obnoxious and crazy, you have just reached into a bucket and you have just pulled out a small piece of paper. You have just received the shortest stick in a bucket of all of those other sticks. The least rotten potato out of a whole bag of potatoes. I am really, I take no risk with what I say. I am really not that crazy and not that obnoxious. Some of the policies that I may make may seem a little bit unbelievable, but do I sound like I don't know what I'm saying when I'm making these policies? I know what I'm saying and I mean what I'm saying. I really do, and I have a point to what I'm saying. You also hold your phone up and then, not connecting with the audience. I look into my phone when I'm talking best I can. And it's more genuine, my connection to the audience. And I hope that I do look in the camera. I do. Sometimes it's hard to look at yourself in the camera. But anyway, I have not changed my mind. I have not changed my heart on the play buttons, the YouTube play buttons. I am going to have some people go and take them away. I just find that it's inconsiderate for those people who, can't get it and can't, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on Amazon and see if the video that I made the other day was sort of wasted. And actually, I hope, and I don't like to waste my breath, waste my energy, have things be all for naught. I hope it's kind of wasted. YouTube play button. There's a YouTube pillow. There's a symbol for YouTube. Well, what's this? Custom YouTube play button award. Well, here you go. Hopefully you can buy it. I mean, if it's on Amazon, then you should be able to buy it. You should be able to buy it. Really. But the one question that I have is I don't see any price tag. But I argue that you should be able to buy this. If you cannot buy this thing off of Amazon, yeah, people will get this taken away from them. I mean, if it's something that's either free or you can buy it with your own money off of Amazon, yeah, you can show it off. Feel free to do that. So many things cost money. I mean, sure, buying a mug with silver and crystal costs money. You can buy it on Amazon. YouTube play button that was given to you just because you have a certain number of following and not everyone can get. Well, that's a problem. So I will say only that much on that. It's just rude and unfair to just show it off and, kind of thing. People can't get. Okay, now this live stream is almost over. Substitute teacher. Let me see if I can find something or someone that will resemble the teacher that I have this semester for a teacher. You know what? I can't find the video now, so it's just not worth finding. Oh, here it is. Oh my goodness gracious. The substitute teacher is not messing around. You can play this video, and it is somewhat in resemblance to the music fundamentals teacher that I'm having. That's all that I want to say. Bye for now.